Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. I want to talk today about when life just is difficult. And even if life isn't difficult, it's just like not that great. All right, so you may be wondering, why am I saying this? I find the beauty in life, I find the beauty in the planet and pretty much everything, but I'm going to tell you something right now. I think this is true of people who are struggling and suffering and people who are awakened. Even awakened people, and this could be the case with you, will find it difficult. They don't struggle with being here, but they will find it difficult. Let's just say it's not their preference. They find that they are in touch with what they truly are, which is a more euphoric state of being, and they know that that is not really the essence of the planet here. I should say the inhabitants of the planet. The planet itself is perfect. And so there's a knowing. The knowing is that there's something so amazingly, awesome beyond this. And that's the yearning of not really wanting to be here amongst the lower frequencies that, and I don't see that in a, egotistical way. That's not how we should look at it. It's that because we came here on a mission, we purposely engulfed ourselves in it, and we were on a lower frequency at some point too. But when we're amongst the struggle and suffering of others, as a collective, it affects us. And it doesn't feel good. There's pain involved in that. It doesn't have to be struggle, but there is pain, and that's going to be the essence of the human experience, at least for a little while longer. And as we progress to the higher frequencies, we're going to find the planet becoming a more peaceful place to be, a hopeful place. And we know that we've achieved our mission. So I want to help you with something, because I want to remind you of something that is so important. And if you can place this first, instead of focusing on your, temporary, and really everything that we want to manifest here is temporary, your temporary physical and material needs, if we can place our focus on something much higher first, and those desires second. First of all, those desires will all just flow and come to you. This is what I teach, is to go to the higher frequencies of awakening, and all of these things open up. It is a way of life. This is the major manifesting secret. I don't believe in a secret. There's no secret. When you go to a high frequency, there are no barriers to anything. You live a life of amazing abundance, all right? That's all there is to it. When you're trying to focus on something and you're trying to materialize it, you're focused on needing, wanting, not really going to a higher frequency, because when you go to a higher frequency, you don't even find yourself doing that stuff anymore. There are things you desire and you think of them, but there's no wanting, needing, I'll have to focus on it every day to get it. You go to that higher, bigger space, but when you're in that higher, bigger space, you still deal with the expressions, the, let's say, emotions that come along with being a physical, material being. And that is something that's not all that desirable. But here's why every single person on this planet, every single person, if you're watching this, you're alive. Guess what? You chose it. You're part of the evolution. And we're all on different paths. All right? So some of us came here to teach others, to help raise the frequency. There's many here doing that. It's not this small chosen group of people. Somebody said, it's not fair that they get to come here and I say, oh, it's not fair. Every single entity has achieved their individual goals through the same struggle and experiences, just different expressions of that. Everybody has had to go through that evolution. So as I shared with this person, I said, how's that not fair? Boy, that's a very egotistical thinking when you do that, because if you're drowning in water and a lifeguard who's very powerful comes in and has a life vest and is going to share it with you, that's not unfair. You want somebody who's on that power level who has the life vest if you don't, who can swim if you can't, who's willing to go out in the water and save your behind. That's an amazing thing, because those people don't have to do it. That lifeguard could sit and watch you go down. Big whoop. But they don't. They will sacrifice whatever it takes, even if you punch them or push them under. That's usually what drowning people do. Push you under to get to the top. They'll do it. That's a big job, because those people don't have to do it. Teachers don't have to teach. They can go sit up on a mountain very happy with nothing, because they don't need anything to be happy. They have total bliss in a place where it's like, okay, I don't even need anything in the material world. You're in that space where it just doesn't matter. It's a fun bonus. But what do? They go into this space because they have a mission, and they know they have a mission. So there are many people here that are stepping up to the plate who sometimes don't really want to, but they know that that was the purpose, and to not do it would not be fulfilling the whole reason we're experiencing all this craziness. There are many people here to evolve personally, their personal expression, which in turn raises the frequency of the planet. So that's really the same mission. It's just a different role within the mission. So some people, like, they didn't do it the last time and the last time and the last time. They come here and they're like, okay, people were talking about twin flames. I will do a video on that. They're just relationships. People are like, oh, I don't believe this. And we're just all expressing ourselves. Don't get hung up on the semantics of everything. You're just here to evolve spiritually and experience everything. It doesn't always make sense, but this is a unique experience on this planet. You are here to raise the frequency of the planet through your own expression and experience and learning. And this is school, so this is what I want to get to right now. No matter if you're the teacher, advanced teacher, if you're awakened, if you're super awakened and you get it, and you're like, you have no more questions, you understand how it works, you get answers all the time, you manifest easily, you still experience the human thing, it doesn't bother you as much, it's not fun, but you get it. Or if you're the person struggling terribly, everybody is in school. All of us. Some of us are the teachers, and some of us are the students. All of us are at the same university. And all of us have to evolve, because even the instructors, if they don't do their job, they get fired. They lose their jobs. All right? The students, they don't graduate. They get stuck in the same grade over and over and over. So we must graduate in order to get off of this whole thing that we signed up for. All of us have to do that. So I want you to remember, when you feel like life stinks, and no matter how happy you are, you still don't feel 100% comfortable here. You still feel, that there's always going to be something you have to deal with that at some point. You got to pay your taxes, or somebody dies, or there's an illness, or you have to move, or whatever. And life gets a little uncomfortable. And sometimes it just downright stinks. Right? It does, for all of us. Well, the bottom line is that this is part of the learning. This is actually all of the learning, all of the experience that's going to allow you to graduate. And it's how you handle all of this that's going to determine what happens after you leave here. And the better job that you do, and if you think of that and that's all you're focused on, you will go into a space that's so massively amazing when it comes to manifesting. For others, for the planet, you're going to go into a massive space, because now your focus is out here. And when you're giving, you are receiving massively. So now all of a sudden you went into the bigger picture of things, and that is the oneness, compassion, and it's not about you anymore. And you get it. It's not about you because you are everyone. And when you get that, you realize that everything you do and think and want and desire must be in the goodness of the collective. Because when you go into the space of the collective, the best possible things that you can think and do and believe and act, you go into a space of peace, and you know that no matter what happens, you realize, I'm on earth, I agreed to this, I gotta hang in there, I gotta do my best, I have got to keep going, and then you know you'll have these amazing days where you're just having so much fun. You go, yes, this is an amazing place to be, and then you have your days when you're going, you know what, it's an amazing place, but I'm just really not getting into it anymore. Somebody said they're tired. I get it. It's like, okay, enough of the stupidity and the ignorance and all stuff, right? This is how we feel. It's like enough. But we're part of the collective that changes that. It's not them doing it. It's us having to change the collective that will affect them, that will stop that. This is your job, and if you don't contribute to that, the well will be dry. So you may have a teaspoon of water, and we need to fill up the well. If you don't put your teaspoon in, it will never fill up. You're thinking it's just a teaspoon. How can I contribute to the well? Times trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of teaspoons that all of us are putting in. Finally, somebody will float to the top and get out of the damn well. All right? Yeah? That's how it works. Floating up to the top of the well, whew, they got out. They were stuck down in the bottom. We got to throw that water in. I'm telling you, this is how it works. And when you catch on and you realize it's really that simple and that difficult, you will go into amazing miracles will happen for you. Amazing. Why? You just went into a massive space of oneness, of a higher frequency, of which the one shares and feels for all of us. Unconditional love. Cares about nothing about anything other than us being absolutely loved beyond our imagination. We already have that now. It's not something you have to gain or achieve. You have it now. It's up to you whether you see it or not, or accept that. And when you know that's there, you can give it. And when you give it, everything you think happens. And when you don't get what you want, it's because you're not in that space, because enlightened people don't require anything. They know that they're getting exactly what they need in a good way, and the things that they desire will show up exactly the way they're supposed to, and they're okay with that. It doesn't mean they don't experience stuff. They will experience stuff. You always will. You'll be challenged. You're going to feel uncomfortable on this planet probably till the day you die. Even as an awakened being, even as a super light enlightened. I always think of them as two different. Awakened to me is when you're really aware. For me, enlightened means that you're probably walking on water. You can elevate, you can do all kinds of cool stuff because you're actually so outside of your body. Awakened people absolutely they have such an understanding of things. They get information constantly. They're always getting information. So I did a meditation for you to get answers from your angels and your guides. Did you do it? You can get answers from your angels and your guides. They won't give anything to you unless you ask, because you are part of a collective consciousness. And you cannot receive something from something separate, because there is nothing separate from you. So you have to actually facilitate it yourself, which means you have to ask for the assistance from the power that is absolutely you on the highest frequency. Does that make sense? Your higher self is always in action. You're never disconnected from, you're never disconnected from anything. You're not disconnected from the highest power of the universe that is everything. It's not some separate energy. It's the wall. It's your hand. It's the eyes you're looking out of at me right now. It's me looking back at you. It's you looking at yourself. We're not separate. We're expressions. That power is not separate. It's flowing through you. It's flowing through me. Everything's intelligent. This sweater is intelligent. There's an intelligence. There has to be. Everything that is material has to have intelligence flowing through for it to exist. Everything is space. There's nothing solid. It's all made up of super intelligence beyond our imagination. Don't try to put human explanations to it. You'll never have one. It's beyond quantum physics. If we went into that space, we would never experience what we're experiencing here to get the humans out of this crazy ass situation we're in. Raise the frequency of the planet. If you don't do your job, you won't get out of it. Whoever said they want to manifest dying in their sleep, you're giving up, you're not going to get out of it. Don't go into that space. Get off your duff and get out there and do your job. You chose to come here, which means you are a freaking warrior. And you can raise your frequency by helping others. So if you don't care about yourself, get out the door and do something for somebody else. I don't care if you go, I used to trim my neighbor's Japanese maple in 90-some degree heat and then clean up everything. Trim the bushes and in his yard. And why? I raised the frequency. I did something nice for somebody. I baked cakes for my neighbors and watched somebody's dog. Do what you can. I'm not talking about writing big checks, but that helps too. If you write them to the right people and the right causes, those who are out there doing the things, because maybe they don't have the money to write the checks, but your money's going to help them get on a plane to go help other people. We got to step it up. So it's not easy to be here. You're probably never going to feel comfortable. I'm not. I don't connect to this planet at all. At all. I never have. Even as a child. Never did. My mother used to make jokes about it. She said that somebody must have dropped me off on the porch in a basket because I couldn't possibly be her child. She used to say that my entire life. She says, I don't know where you came from, but it wasn't me. Yeah. Yeah. So I think there in some ways that was probably what happened. Something dropped me here. I think there's some of you in families that feel that way, that you just were somebody else that was plopped in somewhere with a different mission. And it's noticeable to the other people that you just aren't quite like everybody else. And you probably came from other planets or other dimensions, and maybe you're not totally comfortable here. You may have been here many times, but you're not comfortable here. Maybe you've advanced to other planets and other dimensions and decided that you would do the ultimate. Come down here and take on the biggest friggin' mission in this universe. Definitely our galaxy. We're a threat to everything because we are one energy. This collective isn't just this planet. It's everything that exists in the multi-universes and beyond. There is no end to it. We're affecting everything. If we don't get our act together, we are absolutely a pain in the rear to everything out there that has done their job and achieved higher levels, and we can go to those places. And some of you can go back to those places and beyond because you came here and did your job. And you can enjoy this physical material planet. You can enjoy the beauty of it and have amazing things, but you won't need them anymore. That's when they'll actually flow most to you. And you're going to give more, and it's going to change other people's lives. And you're going to see what happens when you do that, and it's going to be so much greater than anything that you could have or keep or get. So much greater. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. It's all going to be okay. It already is. Know that you are so important. You are critical. You're the teaspoon that fills up that well. Namaste.